Say I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
Say I know that we will win.
I know that we will win.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 if we don't get it.
Shut it down.
Alderman Kennedy introduced a bill last session, which was Board Bill 66, and what it does is provides oversight, aldermanic oversight of any surveillance technology that the city wants to use. And so we came out today because it's a new session. We're tweaking the bill, but we're going to have a new version of the bill shortly, and we wanted to build support and talk to our alderpersons about the importance of this bill. What we've seen in St. Louis is that there is a surveillance hub that's being created at the police headquarters, and more street cameras and other technologies are being built into a network of surveillance that's growing around the city. And that's happened so far with no community input, and with just the police writing their own policies about how they're going to use this technology. So what our board bill would do is create aldermanic oversight so that any entity like the police that wants to install surveillance technology has to come to the Board of Alders and get approval. And that approval requires adequate policies to make sure that our civil liberties are being protected. So how long is the footage being held? Who has access to that footage and for what reasons? Is there a standard that has to be set, like reasonable suspicion, before the police have access to going through that footage? And how are they going to respond to sunshine requests around that information so that the public can know what's going on? The board bill would require that, and it would also require them to do a disparate impact study to let us know if there are concerns that individual or particular communities are being targeted by this surveillance. For instance, are people of color more disparately affected by this than other groups, or does it particularly target protest activists? And then they have to explain how they're going to mitigate those disparate impacts and make sure that that doesn't happen. And finally, the bill requires an annual report. So every year that plan, the surveillance plan, has to come back to the Board of Alders for reapproval. And they have to put out an annual report that would let us know how it was used, whether protocols were violated, and very importantly, how expensive this technology is and what are we getting for our money. So that's basically how our bill works, and we think it's high time that the police don't continue to use this kind of very powerful technology in the community without our input and consent. Well, so the coalition of groups that is working on this bill is called Privacy Watch, and we have a Facebook page. It's Privacy Watch STL. So anybody who wants to contact us, they could direct message us through our Facebook page, Privacy Watch STL. We'll get back in touch with you and try to plug you into this work because we need more people. We need big turnouts at the hearings when they come up on this bill, and we need people to talk to their alderpersons. So anybody interested could get in touch with us through Facebook. I think that we have to be really careful because we used to have technologies that if police wanted to follow you, they had to have probable cause, a warrant to search your house. But the cameras on every street and the network that they are building sweeps up everybody, innocent bystanders as well as the bad guys. And what happens to that technology? So if you are going to a place of worship, do you want the government necessarily tracking you to your place of worship? Or to a doctor where they might see, oh, this person has a specific disease and they're going to a specialist. That's private information. Or if you're going to a political event or political rally, again, that's private information. And so you don't have to be doing something wrong to want to protect your privacy. And that's the kind of concerns that we're raising around the technology that's being built right now. But we've already had one instance where the cameras in a particular ward were used by the alderperson for political purposes, which was against the law and highly concerning. So the alderperson had built cameras in this was in the 21st ward, had built a network of cameras, and some people came to his office to protest outside his office. He used the street camera, which was government financed, to identify those people, to post on Facebook, and then to call them out for their political activity. And that's just exactly the kind of political involvement with government money, which targets certain activists. We can't see this kind of technology being used for those kind of political purposes. And again, that's already happened here in St. Louis, so we need to make sure it doesn't happen again.